This is Stella Emanuel, and she got famous a while back because she was retweeted by Donald Trump in this video. This was at a time when we didn't really have any cures for the virus. We had no good treatments for COVID yet. This was early on in the pandemic. I don't remember exactly when it was, but there were people looking at certain things. Like scientists were looking into hydroxychloroquine at this time, or a little bit before this. Eventually, as time passed, Donald Trump starts endorsing hydroxychloroquine incorrectly because it wasn't a good cure, we discovered. I'm not inside the guy's head, but just from the outside, it seemed as though Trump was trying to give people hope, so he pointed them at hydroxychloroquine, and then his arrogance would not allow him to back down from that when science discovered that hydroxychloroquine wasn't doing anything for anybody, wasn't helping anything. But this doctor, Stella Emanuel, despite having science that now proved that hydroxychloroquine was not helping COVID patients, it wasn't doing anything for anybody, she comes out on this press conference thing or whatever and starts talking about how it's all lies and how it is actually helping people, and it's retweeted by Donald Trump. Listen to this. This is an older one. This is from like 2020.
Upset. Why I'm upset is that I see people that cannot breathe. I see parents walk in. I see diabetics sit in my office knowing that this is a death sentence and they can't breathe. And I hug them and I tell them it's going to be okay. You're going to live. And we treat them and they live. None has died. So if some fake science, some person sponsored by all these fake pharma companies comes and say, oh, we've done studies and they found out that it doesn't work, I can tell you categorically it's fake science. I want to know who is sponsoring that study. I want to know who is behind it. Because there is no way I can treat 350 patients and counting and nobody is dead and they all did better. And then you're going to tell me that you treated 20 people, 40 people and it didn't work.
Here's the thing. This is how science works. This is the beautiful thing about science. If this is real, if she really did treat 350 patients and they did better, and she treated them with hydroxychloroquine, and they did better than before, you should record this in a paper. She's a medical doctor. She should be able to record the results. Doesn't have to be anecdotal. Have a control group. This is how science is done. How does she not know that? How does she not know how science works? What she's doing right now is holding up anecdotal evidence, which is completely worthless in the world of science. Anecdotal evidence is not useful to coming to facts, okay? She's using anecdotes to try to disprove a scientific study with control groups and everything. This is pure, unadulterated propaganda that she was laying down here.
I'm a true testimony. So I came here to Washington, D.C. to tell America, nobody needs to get sick. This virus has a cure. It is called hydroxychloroquine, zinc, and Zithromax.
That was proposed as a possibility and discovered to not be helpful. In fact, be dangerous to take. It was not productive to take that regimen or whatever to cure COVID. Now we have Paxlovid, I think, which is a pill that actually cures it. She doesn't care. She's just going to come out here and propagandize and lie on Donald Trump's behalf. And that's why she got retweeted by him, because she's willing to lie, which objectively got people killed. It got people hurt. That she and Trump were out here lying about the efficacy of a medicine that doesn't do anything for COVID. Nothing. All right, keep listening.
You don't need masks. There is a cure. I know they don't want to open schools. No, you don't need people to be locked down. There is prevention and there is a cure. And let me tell you something. All you fake doctors out there that tell me, oh yeah, I want a double-blinded studies. I just tell you, quit sounding like a computer, double-blinded. I don't know whether your chips are malfunctioning, but I'm a real doctor.
Okay, you catch that? I don't know if your chips are malfunctioning. She wasn't joking. She actually believes that people are being replaced with robots or clones. Seriously, that wasn't just some flippant remark like, I don't know if your chips are malfunctioning or whatever because you're acting like robots. No, she thinks there are clones and robots out there. No joke, okay? Watch. This one is late May 2022. Listen to this.
Brothers and sisters, patriots, we are living in a time when there are two seats in the world. The other seat is not human. And until we start realizing that we're dealing with creatures that are not human,
Love how she rolls that R. That is absolutely superb.
Not human. You keep thinking people like Pelosi and Biden are human. I don't know where their human selves are, but the Bible says the devil would deceive the people of the world to create these images. So how does this deception take place? Be quiet, be quiet. Wait, you have time to shout. Just give me a few minutes. What's happening to this seed? Listen, the devil will deceive them that if you die, you're going to live forever. We will clone you, download your brain to the Internet of Things, and then we're going to upload your brain back into that clone and you live forever. It's a deception. Because you see, Bill Gates has been deceived. Even the elites of the world that were human beings have been deceived. Because if Bill Gates was going to die in 20 years, why is he trying to kill us? Why is he...
Dude, he's not. Bill Gates is not trying to kill us or anybody else. What is the Internet of Things? Isn't that like the name that they gave to like smart plugs or something, and it's like smart home devices or whatever? She honestly, truly, to the bottom of her heart, believes that they took Nancy Pelosi, Joe Biden, and Bill Gates' brains and just removed the consciousness and replaced it with like a demon. She was not being flippant earlier when she said your chips are malfunctioning.
Saying, oh, yeah, it doesn't work and it causes heart disease. Let me ask you, Dr. Sanjay Gupta, hear me. Have you ever seen a COVID patient? Have you ever treated anybody with hydroxychloroquine and they died from heart disease? When you do, come and talk to me.
But she's leaning on anecdotal evidence again. Absolutely worthless in the field of science. Sanjay Gupta was one of the more famous doctors who was working on COVID, I believe, when everything was falling apart. He was advocating for correcting medical misinformation, and here she is out here spreading it rampantly. And Donald Trump retweeted her. Donald Trump boosted her, signal boosted her, talked about the ideas that she was espousing. Absolutely insane.
Come and talk to me. Because I sit down in my clinic every day and I see these patients walk in every day, scared.
Okay, that's the general point. Here's the interesting thing about this person, though. Check this out. Mid-February 2021, so basically like a year or so, give or take, maybe 6 months after that video came out, she comes out and she is upset. She is mad because she thinks she's been vindicated. She thinks that everything that she said in that video we just watched was proven true. Listen to this.
I demand an apology from the media. I'm talking about CNN, CNBC, and all their like New York Times, and all those people that called me crazy from Hollywood. I mean, from people that sat around and made videos calling me crazy when I said hydroxychloroquine worked and we should not allow people to die. I'm talking about FDA, CDC, NIH. I'm talking about all of you, my colleagues, the ones that called me names, that threatened to report me to the boards and all that stuff because...
I don't know of any of her colleagues who called her names and threatened to deport her to whatever. I wouldn't stand for calling anybody names or threatening to deport anybody. I think that's wrong. But what colleagues did that specifically? Can you give me a list of names? There is nothing wrong with people calling out bad behavior. That's good. I encourage that deeply. And that's exactly what the CDC, the FDA, and, Sanjay Gupta and everyone else is doing. That's what Fauci was doing. They were all calling her out for being wrong, unequivocally wrong about her claims regarding hydroxychloroquine and the virus more generally. It's not the only claim she made about the virus, by far. But she seems to think she was vindicated in all of this. Where is her head? Where is it? Are we not living in the same reality as her? Like what happened? She thinks that people have been replaced with clones and robots. So we're certainly not living in the same reality. But how did she get to the point where she believes that she was vindicated publicly? I don't understand.
To report me to the boards and all that stuff because I said hydroxychloroquine.
Oh, report her to the board. Threatening to report her to the board. Absolutely. The thing that would have her medical license stripped. Yes. I love it. Love everything about it. Don't call her names. I don't believe in that. I don't believe in name calling or insulting or anything. Report her to the board. I hope they did. I think she still has her medical license though, sadly. I'm not sure.
That threatened to report me to the boards and all that stuff because I said hydroxychloroquine works. Now you have all these studies that are saying it works.
No. We have literally 0 studies that say that it works. 0 reputable, peer-reviewed studies. It was nonsense then, and it's nonsense now. It was nonsense when she first said it. It was nonsense when she claimed she was vindicated, and it's nonsense in 2022. It's nonsense, okay? I don't know how else to say it. And it's bizarre to me that she is absolutely convinced that she was right the whole time. How did we get here?
What about the 500,000 plus people that have died? Who is going to be responsible for them? Somebody needs to get their behind suits so bad that they will not find a way out of where they'll be locked up, because this is crazy. Even Joe Biden called me crazy. I demand an apology from every single one of you, because when I said the truth, none of you listened. You people laughed at us, you people ridiculed us, you canceled us, and you allowed people to die. You all are so, not just, you are evil, this is wicked. And you know what? Somebody needs to be held accountable for this.
Okay, now, if you think that's bad, it gets worse. It gets a lot worse. This is from The Water Cooler with David Brody. It's on Real America's Voice, I think. Yeah, Real America's Voice. It is a far-right news outlet or commentary outlet more than anything. It's really, really high up, though. Like, they have a lot of viewers on like Real America's Voice and on the TV show on there, The Water Cooler. It's extremely influential. And they had her on. They had her on to talk to them. So listen to this. Late August 2022. She's still peddling this stuff. After we've come out with a bunch of useful medicines and vaccines and various different types of treatments for the virus, let's see what she says now.
So our goal right now as frontline health workers is to make sure that we build people's immunity and get information so that we're always like 2 steps ahead. But most importantly, you should pray and give your life to Christ, because at the end of the day, I'm going to take my chances with gorilla pox, monkey pox, elephant pox, or whatever they give than allow myself to be genetically modified.
Okay, God, there's so much here. You catch what she said? She listed diseases, and she said, I want to protect myself from whatever they give, i.e., the Illuminati is trying to infect people with monkeypox, is what she's saying. And I would rather go to heaven than have my DNA genetically modified. That is insane on so many levels. I do not even know where to start with this. That is nutty. Monkeypox is actually, I believe that the smallpox vaccine works for monkeypox currently. Didn't we eliminate smallpox? I believe we did. Yeah, it was 1980 was when smallpox is officially declared eradicated following worldwide vaccine programs. But the smallpox vaccine still exists because monkeypox, I guess a variant, I'm not sure. I'm not a scientist, so don't trust anything I say about it. I think it's some kind of a variant of smallpox because the smallpox vaccine works for monkeypox. I mean, smallpox vaccine is old. We've had that for like a long time. But here she is saying that genetically modifies your DNA or whatever. She's saying the same thing about the COVID vaccine. Absolutely nutty. Absolutely nutty. And what is her solution? Rather than just get vaccinated like a sane person, she's saying, say your prayers and get ready to die instead of getting vaccinated.
Modified. And if I die, I'm a child of God, I get to go home to heaven. That is actually where people have to stop being afraid to die, because they are getting us because we're so scared to die. So if you get to a place where you give your life to Christ, get your life right with God, you know where you're going, you will not be afraid to die. Because what is coming, millions and billions of people are going to die. But the issue is going to be, read Revelation 6, where are you going to go if you die? So we should not be scared of death. That is part of transition.
That's a fantastic point. I think a lot of this is that the left is scared of dying because they haven't given their life to Christ, or at least a lot of them haven't, or most of them haven't.
Okay, just that statement aside, how did she get a medical license in the first place? How did that happen? How did we find ourselves as a society in a situation where somebody went to school for like 8 years and interned with doctors for 4 more years on top of those previous 8 years and passed tests and got certified and worked with patients for as long as it is required to get your degree and licenses and everything? And she believes this stuff. How did we get here? How did this happen? I don't understand. I am so deeply confused. I really hope she lost her medical license. I really, really deeply do. Absolutely insane. If you think that's bad, the right has, of course, been demonizing the LGBT community for the monkeypox situation, blaming the other to their heart's content, of course, just like they did with HIV. Blame the LGBT community and do absolutely nothing about it because what they're doing should be criminal anyways, right? This is Stu Peters talking to Stella Emanuel, of all people, about monkeypox. Heavily redacted. I really could not play this otherwise, sadly.
So one of the answers would be, don't have gay. Repent from your homosexual lifestyle and go find Jesus, because the real pandemic here is promiscuous among gay men and participating in satanic depravity. So
satanic depravity. Is that like satanic ritual? Does he think that like the LGBT community is taking part in satanic rituals or whatever? I mean, he does believe that. I'm just not sure if that's what he's like laying down in this specific conversation.
So stop that. As a matter of fact, we should make a law against homosexuals. We should just say that that's not allowed. It's a criminal offense, and we should lock these people up. Another answer.
Well, lock them up. I mean, that's obviously deeply depraved that he would even suggest such a thing. But at least he's stopping at lock them up rather than the death penalty, like a lot of hate preachers and right-wing commentators are saying right now. I mean, hell, Rush Limbaugh, of all people, dude got a, what Freedom Medal of Honor or something? Or it's like the highest medal that can be bestowed upon a civilian, and it can only be given by a president, and Donald Trump gave Rush Limbaugh this medal. Rush Limbaugh, during the height of the AIDS crisis, read off lists of the names of people who died from HIV and celebrated it. Is it much more depraved than that? That is wrong on so many levels, dude. And that is exactly the route that we're going right now with monkeypox. Exactly that route.
Another answer.
That should happen, yes.
Yeah, yes, it should happen.
Absolutely wrong, dude. Absolutely wrong. There is something deeply, deeply depraved about this viewpoint. It's disgusting. Stu Peters has problems of his own. He's got absolutely depraved views on a lot of things, especially the LGBT community. But, you know, he believes a lot of the same stuff as, like, Julie Green. I mean, I talked about her in a previous video. If you haven't seen that one, he has a lot of the same views as Julie Green and Liz Crokin, this woman right here. I mean, he's a QAnoner to the core. In fact, the dude is actually, I'm talking Stu Peters now. Stu Peters is a flat earther, of all things. Seriously, he's a flat earther. This guy right here on the left. So I would say I don't think anybody is coming to him for serious news or information or whatever, but sadly they are. Unfortunately, they are. He has a massive presence. He is, I would venture to say, nearly as big as InfoWars. He just kind of appeared out of nowhere overnight, it seemed, but he has a massive media platform to a disturbing size, and he's platforming people like Stella Emanuel and saying absolutely disturbing stuff. We've got to talk about this stuff more, man. We have to. We cannot let this stuff go unrebutted. So here's my question about Stella Emanuel, unrelated to Stu Peters here. Is she ever going to come back to reality? Is she ever going to come to realize how completely full of it she is? Or is she going to go to the grave completely delusional? In my opinion, based on the bizarre ideas and beliefs that she has, unfortunately, I think that she's going to pass sooner rather than later. And I say that because, not out of joy. I don't want anybody to die, period. Nobody. I don't support the death of anyone. But the beliefs that she has are going to put her life directly in serious danger. Obviously, some of the beliefs that she has are going to put her in serious danger. So I don't think she has as much time as the average person out there does. If she's actually living the way that she believes, I think her time is limited. Is she going to realize sooner rather than later that she's completely full of it, or will she go to the grave believing this stuff? Let me know what you think in the comments or on Twitter at Telltale Atheist.